Soar near Loughborough. 6 passengers were on board, but only one suffered minor injuries.
Our reporter Mike O'Sullivan has been at the scene all day. Mike, good evening to you. I mean, this could have been all so much worse, couldn't it?
That's right, and everyone really is thanking their lucky stars. It's been a lucky escape 3 times over. The driver of the crashed train emerged with his life. The driver of the tipper truck emerged unscathed, really, after his cab was crushed. And if it had happened a few hours later, then school children might have been on the footbridge that collapsed. Everyone, as I say, thanking their lucky stars. He emerged amazingly, incredibly alive. Carried by rescue workers, the driver of the crashed train is taken away for emergency hospital treatment. His injuries after being cut free from this wreckage: 2 broken legs and a broken pelvis. The 6 passengers on board had only minor injuries.
The train driver did suffer fairly serious injuries, and he is obviously now recovering in hospital. But yeah, everybody's been incredibly lucky. It happened like this. A tipper lorry with its load section in the upright position smashed into a footbridge at Barrow on Soar at around 6:40 this morning. The footbridge collapsed, sending debris onto the track. The train, travelling at between 70 to 90 miles an hour, the normal speed, came around a bend and hit the mangled metal strewn on the track. A last-minute warning was given to the train driver, but it was too late.
It's our understanding that we did have a member of staff on site at the time who did try to stop the train with a hand lamp, waving a light vigorously. We don't know if the train driver saw that, but the train driver would have probably very little visibility and would have been able to do very little to try and bring the train to a stop before the collision.
People living nearby say the bridge was used to link one part of the village with another. If the accident had happened a couple of hours later, there could have been children walking across the bridge to reach their school.
It's a useful bridge. A lot of people use it, particularly these children, you see, at the beginning of the end of the day.
The fact that it was early in the morning was perhaps fortunate from that point of view. If it had been 8:30, 9 o'clock, there'd have probably been lots of children around.
The fire service says cutting the driver free was a tricky operation. The driver of the tipper truck also had an amazing escape, emerging with only minor injuries from a crushed cab. A rail industry accident investigation is now underway.
So what's the focus of this investigation then, Mike?
Well, and I think it's really the role of the tipper truck, why that load section was in the upright position when it crashed into the footbridge. Well, the recovery operation for the train, which is underneath the bridge that's behind me, is likely to go on into the night. And I'm joined now by Chief Inspector Kevin Marshall from British Transport Police, who's going to give us an update. Chief Inspector, when and how is the train going to be removed?
Well, we're hoping that the train's going to be removed actually on the railway, re-railed and then moved to a local destination. From there on in, it'll be probably put onto a low loader and moved away for forensic examination.
And what about the line reopening, the railway line?
We're really hopeful that that part of the railway will reopen about 4 a.m. tomorrow morning.
OK, Chief Inspector, thank you very much. Well, it's obviously had a big impact on rail services today, and Carol Hines now assesses the impact.
More than 10 hours on and there's still severe disruption to East Midlands Trains operations. Services between Derby and Leicester and Nottingham and Leicester are currently suspended. The company is advising that passengers either seek a refund or take an alternative route, but that will mean a longer train journey. If you're going from Derby Station, you'll go on to Birmingham New Street and then down using the West Coast line into London. If you can get to Grantham, Newark or Peterborough, then it will be the East Coast that takes you to the capital. Here in Nottingham, replacement buses are taking passengers to Loughborough and Leicester, from where there is a limited hourly service to and from St Pancras. Passengers I spoke to earlier today seem determined to complete their journey.
We're going to a show at the Royal Albert Hall.
I'm trying to get to London and find a destination. However, I need to get to Leicester to meet a friend.
I don't really want to give up because we're going down to see a show.
Network Rail is still working at the scene at Barrow on Soar. East Midlands Trains hopes to have a near normal, if not normal, service running tomorrow, but that still hasn't yet been confirmed. Their advice is to check on their website or with the National Rail inquiries before you set off on your journey. This is Carol Hines for East Midlands Today at Nottingham Railway Station.
Well, that was Carol Hines earlier at Nottingham Railway Station, and the recovery operation still underway. More vehicles and heavy lifting equipment arriving now in really worsening weather here in Barrow. So I'll have an update for you later on in the programme. Back to you, Dominic and Anne.